Good afternoon, brothers, sisters, and siblings, and welcome back to another episode of the Vibe Too Many podcast. I, of course, am KJ Collelo, joined as always by...
Hello, my name is Ashton Byrne, and this is Luna.
Do you like how I totally forgot my name for a second there? You recognize that pause, but I was like, shit, wait.
You got it, dude.
That's what happens when you just make up a name because you don't want to hear your own name while you're editing.
I understand.
I feel like you would understand, yeah.
Yeah. Of all people.
Before we get into the heart and soul of this episode, I get to talk about more fucking problems with this podcast, which seems like I do every week now. It's not even that bad, but man, my audio last week was trash. So here's the full story. Is the microphone I usually record on broke. The wire got frayed. I didn't recognize that the mic was broke until literally like an hour before we recorded the last episode. So I used my earbuds, my Raycons, which Raycon, if you ever want to sponsor us, like, come on. We gotta get Ash new headphones.
Us. Please.
Yeah.
I need new headphones.
It sounded like I was underwater for the whole episode. So for this week, I invested in like a new podcast mic, and it's shiny.
It's red.
And I can keep
purple now.
Sometimes. And not only that, it's like a good enough mic where I have it on like my setup next to me, so I could talk with my hands again, because I actually really like doing that. Hopefully, this audio doesn't suck, and if it does, it's not impossible that I kill myself. A lot of pressure on this microphone here. Before we get into it, we had a pledge from last week. I did, in fact, watch The Iron Giant, so...
I didn't. I'm sorry. I was busy.
How dare you, everyone boo Ashton again. So, yeah, I watched The Iron Giant. Because I say the Iron Giant's my favorite Superman, and he is, and so I was, like, crying on a train. And also, I actually have another surprise for you.
What?
So we made the Iron Giant pledge, because we were talking about Superman last week. And Ashton brought up something very interesting when we were talking about my man Jonathan Kent. He talked about a specific comic book, Superman Red and Blue. And so I am about halfway through Superman Red and Blue. I've been reading that too.
Yay!
But I gotta say, whew, man, is it powerful.
It's just what Superman means to people.
It is up there with like my favorite comic books of all time. Like it is, and when I say like my favorite comic books, I mean it's up there with like Mouse and Persepolis. Anyway, before we go on to our main episode, again, we're just going to give a quick rundown. This is, again, the first episode. People should know what we're talking about, because it is our first two-parter. I'm really excited. We talked about Toy Story 1 and 2, and then Toy Story 5 came out.
Check out our video on that.
Check out our video. It was a really interesting conversation. Since then, Toy Story 5 has come out. I don't think either of us have watched it yet, if I'm not mistaken.
I have not.
I do know my co-producer Alice watched Toy Story 5. Should I just text her and ask her what she thought of Toy Story 5? I'm texting Alice, what did you think about Toy Story 5 in parentheses for the podcast? So we'll update you when we get an update on that, folks. Continuing our Toy Story conversation, we are coming to Toy Story 3. Yeah, it's a banger.
Yeah.
This is like an unbelievable run of movies.
Incredible.
Like, it seemed like... I think all of these sequels are kind of unnecessary, but at least for parts 2 and 3, it did seem like they were trying to one-up themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
Every time. They were like, we can't just get stagnant in making a movie of this quality. We have to, like, at least try to do something new and different and interesting.
And explore kind of this concept in a different way.
This one is the first one not directed by John Lasseter. This
awesome.
One is... I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name. Probably should have looked up a pronunciation guide before I did this. But Lee Unkrich stepped into the director's chair. He's only directed one other movie.
That's fucking crazy.
Do you know what the other movie he directed was?
What? Tell me.
Coco.
Banger.
Imagine just two
Banger.
for two. You
Banger.
just hit 2 home runs. It's just a brilliant movie. And
I will say... You said in the last one that 2 was your favorite intro of the series.
Yes.
This is my favorite intro.
Oh, you like this one more? I still like 2 more, but
I like
this is a lot of fun.
Okay, it's like 2 and then 3.
They're both great.
I think this one, it also demonstrates how much this one has held up visually.
One of the things I really like right off the bat is, again, this has been 11 years since the last Toy Story film, and in real time it seems like it's been about that, about 10, 11 years as well. So these characters have grown like older and wearier themselves.
Yeah.
They have lost people. There's no Bo Peep in this movie. I feel like part of that too is it feels like almost a send-off to some of the voice cast themselves, because we'd lost a few people.
Yes.
Jim Varney, who we talked about in the last episode, who voiced Slinky Dog. What I actually didn't know is he died after Toy Story 1, and they used leftover footage for Toy Story 2, and then I think they recast him in Toy Story 3. Don Rickles, I believe, had passed away by this point. He voices Mr. Potato Head, so they used his old dialogue too. These toys have felt lost now, like real loss.
You get a sense of, like, just their loss. Even just in that first scene we see them after, like, 10 years. Or even just the cut from, like, the song to just silence does, like, a really good job of, like, setting the tone.
And they're just all in the chest now.
They really don't want to go. And you understand why they don't want to go to the attic.
They're on top of, like, the, no
just general had to change. Yeah.
The change, but more of the philosophical things. We talk so much about how the first two movies are about being how really every human wants to be loved and wanted. Symbolically, that putting in the attic is like they're no longer wanted and they have to come to terms with that.
Their place in this person's life is not there
Which
anymore.
is all they've known.
But it's like and it's like coming to terms with the fact that sometimes people come and go, and that doesn't mean you don't, like, they don't love you or you don't love them.
There is something beautiful I read online once that was literally just, I am an amalgamation of all the people I love and have loved.
Yeah.
And that's such an interesting way to look at it, but you can never, in the time when you're losing somebody for any reason, whether it be
you're never like,
a romantic
damn, I
partner
really
or...
like how much this contributes to my amalgamation of people I've loved. Like, you don't say that. You just feel how shitty it is.
And so, like, that's a beautiful thing where they're like, oh my god, we're losing everything we've ever known. But by the end of the film, they're being loved by someone else. It's not that Andy is gone from their hearts. It's just that it's time for them to take what they learned with Andy and move on with it.
Yeah, in, like, a different way, and how are they going to move forward, while also still, like, being able to kind of, not let go, but, like, not get fixated on, like, just one person being their whole identity. Woody, throughout this series, has always been stubborn.
I mean, they also thought they were being thrown away. Like, literally thrown away by this kid.
Even though we've had, like, several movies where, like, Woody is telling the truth and they don't. Well, the first one, he's not telling the truth. He is actively lying. The second one, he
gets there at the end.
Yeah. But you understand, because they were put in a trash bag. Why the fuck did he put them in a trash bag when she said trash bags are for trash?
This movie series has grown with his audience, and that's something I'm remarkably impressed by. Because it never stops being a kid's movie. All of these movies can be watched as a child.
Yes.
But they also are smart enough to know, like, hey, the people that watched Toy Story 1, which I think was 94, those people, if they were, 4 or 5 years old at that time, were, like, going to college or at college now.
Yeah.
When this movie came out, I was 10 years old. So it's not like I was going to college.
10, yeah.
I never went to college, but I could understand. I'd already grown out of certain toys.
Yeah.
But I grew up with the Toy Story movie.
You kind of feel like this was when I was, like, really little. And then you kind of, like, you're a bigger kid. And you kind of 100%. Feel like life is about to hit you as soon as you turn, like, you get to, like, 8th grade. Even though now, looking back, it's, like, nothing.
Watching this at 10 years old when it came out, and watching this at 26 years old, literally going to work, you get, like, two wildly different things out of it, Like, you understand Andy a whole lot more. There's these little looks Andy gives throughout, like when he sees Woody at the bottom of the toy pile he's giving to Bonnie.
He doesn't really want to let go, because he also
he has a second
when he was a kid.
Yeah, exactly. He's the second where he's like, back to being 7 years old. We've all had that, where you see something. Like, even watching this movie, I felt like I was thrown back to being in the movie theaters. I can almost point to where I was sitting if we go to the right theater.
I have the evil beast.
Oh! It's a Lotso!
And I did.
We'll talk. Do we want to talk about Lotso now?
Yeah. Let's talk about Lotso.
Let's fucking do it. Oh my god, what a villain!
He is terrifying!
Unbelievable! He's this, like, both this kindly old man, like, you know he's the villain.
He flips between both so well.
Yeah. You know, you kind of know he's the villain of the movie. If you're older. I would say, when I was
especially
a child,
after
I probably
Stinky
knew it too.
Pete, you kind of, like, know not to, like, trust some other toys.
You mentioned in the last one about how Pixar has gone on to do this twist villain a lot. But between Pete and Lotso...
Nailed it.
It's never been done that way. Those are two perfect...
Back to back, yes.
Yeah. You know, Pete for the fact that you don't even really know he's gonna be the villain, and then Lotso for just this... being this utter dastardly bastard.
You might expect him being a villain. You don't expect how awful.
How evil he is.
How evil. He's basically a dictator. He tries to commit murder. Not even Stinky Pete was committing murder. Torture. He commits torture.
Yeah, he tortures them. He created the toy prison industrial complex.
Yeah, the toy. Yeah, pretty much.
He saw what we were doing here and we're like, let's do that for cute cuddly toys. Put that potato in a shit box.
Jesus. In solitary.
Yeah, they have solitary confinement. Lotso has solitary confinement in this.
Yes. That
is one of the most evil things.
Yeah.
It is insane.
But also, I do want to point out, because this is something I mentioned with the boys, where we're talking about stuff that actually happens, but through a lens of fiction. I feel like the difference with this is definitely it portrays these, like, the military-industrial complex. When you watch this movie and it's, like, kind of parodying it, it's fucking terrifying. I remember watching this being, like, literally, like, I was having shit put in my fucking pants. They have the conversation through a lens of fiction, but it's still being taken seriously, that people deal with this in real life, and this is, like, something that, like, people die from this shit. But you feel the stakes.
It's even relevant to this day, because we just saw, like, I think 3 or 4 protesters get 50 years for being around fireworks when they were set off at a protest.
Even what's happened at Delaney Hall, where people, there's video footage of, like, people participating in, like, the sit-ins at Delaney Hall. They get surrounded by officers with shields, and then just get fucking, like, it's like a horror movie. They just get fucking dragged in and then arrested. It's scary. It's terrifying.
You and I are anti the things we're anti for a myriad of reasons, the way we were brought up and everything. It wouldn't be shocking if Toy Story 3 was a part of that, which is insane to say.
Yeah.
But we watched it happen, and that's part of the way you develop these politics, is you watch what happens and you create your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions on it. So we were 10 years old watching these toys we loved get walked up.
To have discussions, but have serious discussions. Toy Story 3 had a more serious conversation around and engaging audience members who might not be familiar with these conversations than season 5 of The Boys. I genuinely
100%.
believe that.
Yeah.
I genuinely fucking believe that.
100%.
Because you walk out of this as a kid and you're hearing Barbie talk about foundations of democracy.
On a less serious note, so Buzz has been lobotomized once again. And thankfully this is the last time they, like, switch him back to Star Command mode. In Toy Story 4, they don't go back to, like, the he thinks he's in Star Command thing, which I think is best, because I think it ran its course, and it never stopped being interesting, but in Toy Story 3, you could kind of be like, we're doing this again, okay, but, you know, you only got so many more here.
Yeah.
But when he goes back into that mode, he's placed in charge of the prison. Wild to say in a Toy Story movie. He accepts that. Does Star Command have the prison complex?
They're kind of like space cops.
I'm just saying, I think you have space prison profiteers. But going back to Lotso, I think it's very funny because the guy who voices Lotso, this is our second week in a row talking about him.
Really? What else was he in?
This is Ned Beatty, who plays Otis in the original Superman.
Oh, okay.
That's the same guy. The guy who created Otisburg is fucking Lotso Huggin' Bear.
That's crazy. He has a really good performance in this.
On one of the best vocal performances I've ever seen in an animated film. Like, truly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There's so much emotion in that
I feel like gets underrated. The transition in that scene where they find Buzz and then Lotso walks in on them torturing Buzz essentially, and he switches like that, and you don't expect it. It's so fucking good.
And then when you hear about like Lotso's backstory, the way Ned Beatty's doing the she replaced
she don't
us,
love you
like
no
all
more.
Of that is all incredible. You can hear the sadness coming out of his voice.
You can hear the jealousy too.
It all comes through there.
Yes.
And it is such a stupidly good, and especially that backstory is also, they always do, the backstories are always emotional. That was also great.
I like the scenes with Barbie and Ken.
Yes, they're great. Ken, voiced by Michael fucking Keaton.
I didn't fucking know that! I didn't even know that!
Keaton.
What?
That's
crazy. That's fucking crazy. That's awesome. I like their bit where, like, he is not traditionally... I don't know how I feel about the fact that they kind of, in-universe, find it a little weird. But I like that they made him, like, not traditionally masculine. So, like, he loves fashion. He writes with glitter pens. Like, the worm even doesn't really find it weird. Like, the librarian...
That he's wearing heels.
But he's just like, Ken would do that.
It was 2010. The metrosexual thing was big at the time. Gay marriage was not, like, completely legalized until 3 years after this movie came out.
That's fucking crazy.
Toy Story 2 came out first. Or Toy Story 3 came out first.
That's fucking crazy.
Let's talk about the scene in this movie.
You were putting this in a kid's movie? That's crazy! In 2010?
Making their way to the incinerator.
And accepting their death.
Oh my god! They look...
With the music, too!
You could see in their eyes that they're accepting death. Which, by the way, amazing animation to be able to tell that.
This animation held up so fucking well. Also, yes, I agree.
You can tell they have lost... That they have accepted the eternal end in their animation. What were those conversations from the animators like? Like, okay, you really have to give the profound sadness, but also level of acceptance. We have to see them go through the stages of grief.
5 stages of grief in, like, 5 seconds. How do you animate it on a toy? Go!
How do you animate it on a toy horse?
Yes. Yes!
We need to see these characters realize that they are facing eternal darkness, and also they're potatoes.
There's a toy piggy bank.
Like...
And the aliens do the bit, and they fucking save them.
Every time I watch this movie, going back to when I was 10 years old, even now, as an adult, I'm like, are they gonna kill those fucking toys?
Yeah, no, you think every single time you go back and watch it, they might kill them. They might just fucking die.
What's funny is, this is obviously a huge, like, emotional... Like, everyone who saw this movie in theaters, everyone Ashton and my age, we always talk about this. But this isn't quite the scene that gets to me so hard.
Is it the ending? So
it's
long,
the
partner.
ending. So the thing that gets to me in movies more than death or loss or sadness is kindness. That's always what makes me cry.
Yeah.
And so stuff like Woody jumping down to save Lotso.
Yes. Because he did
really
not
got to me.
have to do that.
No, he had every reason not to, but he can't not do it because of the lessons he's learned in the past.
Because
The
he
beginning of
literally
Toy Story
tried to
1
murder Buzz.
In the beginning of Toy Story 1, that Woody would have fucking killed Lotso. Yeah, it burns him at the end of it, but you can't make that assumption in the moment.
And he says, like, he's not worth it. You know? It was worth it to try. But is it 100%. Worth it to keep going afterwards for vengeance? No.
Yeah, they got more important shit to worry about. There's no point in obsessing over it and letting it take over your life. Even Buzz going to help Woody. Because he knows, oh, if Woody believes in change like this, then I have to as well. He is my friend. I have to help.
That's his best friend, yeah. He saw Woody change. He saw Woody save him.
He's the reason. He was the reason Woody changed, you know?
The reason he's alive is because Woody changed.
Yeah. So that's the stuff that really gets to me. And then, yeah, the very ending when he's giving the toys away. And also, in the incinerator, them all coming together and accepting it together and kind of... Here's a little bit of a dark thought. If you were going to go out, it doesn't seem like the worst to go out with all of your loved ones around. There's a slight solace I feel like they could take there knowing that they're all together. In the end, we do have Andy's goodbye to his toys. And it comes back to what we were saying in the intro, where it was like, it's learning about moving on. You don't have to stay stagnant where you are just because you have good memories of it.
Are friendships a part of you, even if you're not always physically there? And I say this as somebody who has a lot of college friends who live, like, states away, and we still talk. You know?
We talked about this, not to bring up traumatizing memories, but we talked about this in the one episode that got corrupted. One of the things I said about E.T. is one of the reasons I love that movie so much, specifically the end of it, is because it kind of feels like a goodbye to all of the people you never got to say goodbye to.
It does.
This is like that to me, too.
It does.
Like, there is a slew of people in my life that have changed it for the better that I think about every single day of my life. But I never said goodbye to them, you know? They'll never know.
You never know, like, when your last day is with somebody.
That's what this movie feels like, that ending.
And it's like, should we live our lives in fear of that last day? Or should we embrace every moment we have now?
That's what makes this ending so beautiful, is Andy got to say goodbye to his toys. And the toys got to close that chapter and still be able to move on. But before we move on, I have a theory, I call it, about these movies. And you're going to have to stick with me, because it's kind of insane. It's not like a theory about the movies. It's about the quality of the movies. I have something I call the Run the Jewels theory. For those of you who do not know, Run the Jewels is a rap group combined of Killer Mike and LP. I'm a huge fan of theirs. They're a great group. They have 4 albums released. And I believe Toy Story and Run the Jewels kind of fit the same, like, parameters. Because I think the first 3 Run the Jewels albums are fucking perfection. They're, like, 10 out of 10 albums. And I feel that same way about the first 3 Toy Story movies. So if I was to ask somebody what their favorite Toy Story film is, and they say 1, 2, or 3, and if I was to ask someone and ask what their favorite Run the Jewels album is, and they said 1, 2, or 3, I would understand their reasoning behind it. It wouldn't be insane. It wouldn't be like if I asked someone what their favorite Star Wars movie is, and they said Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi is a good movie, but why was that anyone's favorite? Also, both Toy Story 4 and Run the Jewels 4, I think, are noticeable steps down. But I still like them both. And, in both cases, my favorite Run the Jewels album is Run the Jewels 2, and my favorite Toy Story movie is Toy Story 2. So I think Toy Story is Run the Jewels.
They're basically the same.
We come now to Toy Story 4, which is a controversial topic in Vibe Too Many headquarters.
It is.
Mainly between Ashton and I. Because Ashton's the only one I've asked about it. I like it. It's pretty solid. It's okay.
I think it's meh. I think it's mid. It's very mid. Very mid movie. Mid.
Yeah. It's got
It's not
things I
bad.
like.
It's just like so mid.
No. Yeah, it feels... I was talking to Ashton about this before. It kind of feels like a straight-to-DVD. Not even a straight-to-VHS.
It does feel like one of those straight-to-VHS sequels that Disney would do.
It feels like Aladdin 3. You know?
Not even... Yeah. Or like any one of the Little Mermaid sequels.
Exactly. Like, it's... And those sequels tend to not be bad, but they're just not memorable. New director comes into the chair this time. It is Josh Cooley, who, ironically enough, has also only directed one other movie.
Which one is that?
It's one I know Ashton's going to get pumped about. He also directed Transformers 1.
Yeah! One!
Ashton, isn't this your first time watching this movie?
Yes, I refused to watch this movie for a long time. But it was held hostage. They were holding Toy Story 3 hostage. They made me watch this movie.
You make it sound like I had Luna.
Basically.
The biggest problem I have about this is this movie kind of just does undo a lot of Toy Story 3.
It does.
Where Toy Story 3 focused so hard on Woody and the gang wanting to stay together, and then the exact thing I wrote was just for Woody to fuck off and pipe Bo Peep.
There's also just, like, characters who act very out of character. Like, noticeably Buzz. Because we mentioned him getting lobotomized earlier. He's like, just literally stupid in this movie. He's just dumb. He's not dumb in the other ones. So, like, even when he's like...
maybe a bit goofy, but not...
He's not stupid. He doesn't need, like, the button to tell him what to do. Like, he's not that fucking gullible.
I'd be so okay if it was, like, a one-off joke where he's like, you got a voice inside of you? Like, that would be pretty funny. But they make it his whole character arc. It kind of just shelves Buzz for this whole movie in, like, that story that's not super interesting. A lot of the side cast are kind of put off to the side for new characters that I think are less interesting.
They do nothing.
Yeah. You got Duke Kaboom, who's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Ducky and Bunny are my guys. I fucking love
Ducky and Bunny. Were cool. They were funny.
There's a scene where they just keep talking about jumping an old lady, including waiting till she got home to jump the
following her home and then attacking her in her bed at night.
Which is so goddamn dark and funny.
Yeah.
And plus, it's Key and Peele, and if there's one thing you gotta realize out of Vibe Too Many Entertainment, Ashton and I will talk about Key and Peele voicing some weird characters.
Yes.
Go back to the Wendell and Wild episode.
Yes.
Speaking of, like, the things we didn't necessarily love about the movie is, like... Yo, you're coming off the stakes of Toy Story 3, where we were gonna watch some kids get incinerated. Or some toys get incinerated.
This is, like, hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby type, like, stakes.
They're like, oh no, a toy is lost, and I'm like, you guys were on fire the other day. It takes place a couple years later, but still.
It's like, they were in, like, it was a prison breakout movie.
You guys toppled fascism, and now you're like, oh, we've got to make it back to Bonnie's house.
Uh-oh,
that seems like, less important.
This, like, creepy doll is, like, kind of weird.
That doll is creepy as fuck.
I will say, I mentioned this earlier to KJ. I like the villain's design. I like the dummies. Also, the animation in this, as much as, like, I'm not...
It's very good.
This is a very beautiful movie.
And also the repercussions aren't really there. You never feel like they're not going to succeed. We talked about Toy Story 3 and we were like, yo, these motherfuckers might actually get incinerated. This one, they are, rather than, like, trying to hide who they're running around fairgrounds and no one's really, like, noticing.
It's definitely very different where, like, the last one, they were literally occupying a whole prison system inside this daycare full of small children. And they're a lot more worried about, like, making sure they're not caught by humans.
Or in, like, the first 2 Toy Story movies, where you have the scenes where they're,
With Sid,
like, hiding under traffic cones, or when they're hiding in, like, the food containers. This one, they don't really take that care.
Yeah, they don't really.
They're just kind of running around and being like, oh, hide behind the wall.
Yeah.
Let's pretend to be a skunk. There is one thing both Ashton and I love about this movie.
Yeah.
It's my guy. My guy.
It's our Spork. Forky. We love Forky.
I love Forky.
I like
love
Forky.
That his name is... I love that his name is Forky, but he's
I
not
love
Forky.
that his 2 main lines are trash and I don't want to be alive.
He is a suicidal spork named Forky. And he's voiced by Buster from Arrested Development. Like, come on.
Yes.
There's no way this character goes wrong. It is so goddamn funny. The first, like, entire half of this movie is Woody trying to stop him from killing himself. And, you know, it's pretty poignant in anything can be a toy. We're starting to get into our modern art eras here.
Yes.
Everything can be art. Everything is art. I don't know if you could have nailed the character harder. He does so many little things I find funny. I like his stupid face.
Yes.
His stupid face
I like
is
how
excellent.
his stupid little mouth works. I like that his eyes are falling off.
I like the scene where he's brushing Gabby's hair, but he's using the wrong part of...
You don't realize it at first, too. It's so subtle. Yeah.
No, there's nothing that calls attention to it. It's just a good visual gag. I like that his name is Forky.
So stupid.
And he's not a fork.
No. He's a spork. Yeah, I like his animation. I like that he's like, he doesn't like just, he like wobbles around.
Yeah, because he doesn't have like maneuverable legs like everyone else.
Yeah, he just has like feet.
It's literally then, just
torso.
Like, popsicles stuck to him.
He has to like waddle.
Just almost literally no idea what's happening in any second of the day. The scene where he jumps out of the RV and just gets stuck in the dirt. The entire first half of the movie is we have to stop this weird fucking thing from killing itself.
I understand why, because you don't want a joke to run tired, but I do kind of wish there was a little more of him.
The second half, he kind of starts to take a more supporting role. I am wary about, like, that shit is hard to keep that funny for so long.
Yeah.
And you kind of have, like, every line of Forky's makes me laugh.
Yeah, so, you don't want to ruin it.
But one of the other things I really liked about this movie is, while I never want a child, I think this would be good to show to a child, because I feel like it would help them deal with losing a toy or something. Say they lose a toy, you could kind of show them this and be like, you know, they're off to their new home or adventure or whatever.
I will say, the first 3 do make it seem... When I was growing up, I would, like, be, like, crying, like, pissing my fucking pants, like, worried about, like, even just giving away a toy. But in this one, it's a lot more reassuring, where it's like, oh, no, there's, like, more to life.
As a whole, the movie might undo 3 a little bit. I do think that's an interesting concept to be like, you know, sometimes it's times for toys to go out on their own, and it'd be good to show a child that. And also, sometimes it is good to go out on your own as a human being. You don't have to keep... You don't have to, I don't want to say parasocial relationships, but you don't have to always be with somebody. It's good to be alone and enjoy things on your own. Or if you're me, you only do things alone except for this podcast, because then it would be a little
boring.
Weird.
Yeah. Basically balancing that plot with Forky and Bonnie's going to kindergarten. Like, there's so many different plots happening at once.
And then you have all this stuff in, like, the antique store, and I gotta be honest, I don't give a fuck about any of that shit.
Yeah. Balancing so much at once in one movie.
Yeah.
Narratively. Whereas the last one felt so...
concise.
Yeah.
The other ones are interesting conceptually, but they're just handled so well. Meanwhile, while I don't think this movie was horribly handled, but there was still so much going on, and they're trying to have, like, an A, B, and C storyline... And which winds up, like, putting a lot of characters to the side.
Yes.
Where now, you know,
even
Jesse's not
Buzz.
really doing much.
Buzz and Jesse do nothing this whole movie.
Buzz at least has, like, the, you know, he's going out to find Woody, It's not an interesting story per se, but at least they try to give them one. Literally, half these characters don't really. What is Rex's arc here?
What is
You know?
Mr. Potato Head's arc?
Based on the trailers I saw, it kind of looks like Toy Story 5 is undoing a little bit of Toy Story 4. Where now, like, Woody's back and,
Essentially, yeah.
I've not seen it yet. I'm just going based on trailers, and I'm not really a guy that pays too much attention at trailers. Do we have any final thoughts on these two Toy Story films?
Hydrogen Bomb versus Coffin Baby.
A little bit. All I'm saying is, I get that you're going to have a lot of ideas to do with Toy Story movies. There's a lot you can do with these characters. But I think if you are going to make more movies, I'm not even saying you should, you probably shouldn't, you should be more selective. It has to be the story to do so. Look, if there was something where you're sitting there and you're like, oh my god, this would make such a great Toy Story film, it brings everything together, it's like important, do that movie. But if you're doing like, okay, what can we do with Toy Story now? I think that is a
You're forcing it.
Of.
You're forcing it.
Yeah. So we've reached the end of our Toy Story 2-parter.
Yay!
Now we just have one question to ask. Yeah, what does Alice think about this movie, Ashton?
I think she liked it.
She said she really enjoyed it. She was expecting it to be a soulless money grab, but it made her laugh out loud, almost made her cry, and healed something in her.
Cool.
She liked it.
Thank
you, Alice.
Thank you, Alice.
Woo! Everyone give Alice a hand. She doesn't know we're doing this because she said she doesn't watch the podcast, but just market it. You'll just market it, but you won't watch it. Sorry, I got a little heated there.
No, that's crazy.
How about a good pledge this week? Because sometimes we really struggle to think of pledges, I'm not gonna lie. How about we bring, each of us, you and I, we bring on a toy next week for show and tell.
I got a toy.
I think I'm gonna buy a new toy for it, too. Anyway, Ashton, thanks for coming on down and talking about toys for a couple weeks.
Of course. It's been a vibe.
Perhaps too many. I've been KJ Collelo.
I'm Ashton Byrne.
Bella ciao, y'all.
Bella ciao.